Today we are checking out the GA-02 electric guitar amplifier from Lekato. So in the many years that I've spent playing guitar, there's been lots of instances where I've used amplifiers for my electric guitars that have varied in size and shape, going from having a combo amplifier to having an amplifier that's separate from a speaker cabinet of varying sizes. And most of the time as a guitar player, you're going to want to have some sort of amp that has speakers attached to it that are big enough that's going to project your sound loud enough to compete with a drummer, for example. Or maybe you're a guitarist in a brass band where there's like 9 or 10 people on stage and the volume on stage is very loud because you're competing against these acoustic brass instruments that are made to project sound. And yeah, hopefully your amp is being mic'd in that scenario, but you would also benefit from having a stage volume so that you can hear what you're playing. We can't all be Lucas Mann, am I right? Waka waka. But then there's other potential scenarios that you might benefit from having something a bit smaller to work with. For example, I use these two mini amps for when I teach guitar lessons here, and most of the time if I'm testing out new cables or I'm doing a setup for a friend on their guitar or whatever and I want to check my work, I'll plug into this and I'll have my workbench over here and this right behind me, and it's just an ease of access. Plus this one's cool, you could plug it into a separate external speaker if you want, so if you need to go to a gig and they have a back line with a 412, this will do it. It'll get the job done. And of course the Microcube is a legend as far as mini amps are concerned, with all the different amp models that are in there, different effects built in. It even comes with a strap. Like, I got this off a friend a couple years back and it's just been a great addition to have here. And they both fit inside this bookshelf. So super fancy. But another scenario that's worth considering is that maybe you live somewhere where your neighbors would not be cool with you even having a combo amp that you would use to play and practice your guitar with. Or the only time you have to play your guitar is when you're on break at your job and you can't just leave and go to a rehearsal space, but you can at least stay at your cubicle and play your guitar there at a volume that's not disruptive to everyone around you. Or you want an amplification option that doesn't require it to be dedicated to wall power, like it has its own battery. So if you wanted to go, say, to the park, you could take your amp with you because it's got a battery built into it. And now everyone at the park can enjoy your rendition of Wonderwall. Finally. And there's some of you out there that may have been in the market for a miniature amp to have on your desk, but have seen the options that are most present on the market and have gotten intimidated by the fact that it's got all this built-in tech and different options in terms of sculpting your sound. And you kind of just want something that works and doesn't require you to have an app on your phone to make a digital pedal board in order to get any sound out of it. And that's where the GA-02 from Lekato comes into the picture. In the past, I've showcased other products from Lekato on this channel, and they reached out to me again asking me if I would consider doing a review of this amp and letting you guys know what I thought about it. So why don't we get right to it? But first, if you like what I'm doing here and you haven't already, be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Why? Because it's free and it helps the channel grow and get these videos out to more people, and you'd be doing me a solid. So, maybe, please. Oh, hi there. How's it going? Just wanted to hop in here real quick and ask, do you like shirts? Do you enjoy wearing a shirt throughout your day, every day? And do you like pictures on shirts? Well, you're in luck. I know a guy who has lots of shirts with pictures on them just for you, like this one. If you check down below here, you can see my store full of all the designs that I made myself. And if you buy one, it helps support the show. And not just on shirts, you could get a notebook, you could get a mouse pad, you could get a mug. You could get a mug with this on it. How fun? How fun is that? Go get something. Treat yourself. You earned it. Okay, back to the show. Okay, so before we truly dive in on this amp, I wanted to go over some of the specs that this thing has to offer. The Lekato GA-02 comes in at just about 2 pounds in weight. It offers 5 watts of amplification for your hearing pleasure and potentially those around you. Again, I can't stress this enough. There's an audience of people out there that want to hear your version of Wonderwall. I swear it. You have 2 channels to choose from. You have your clean and your overdrive, and a global gain knob that affects both channels of the amp. You also have the ability to connect a separate device via Bluetooth, which could be your computer or your phone. This being the option to allow you to play backing tracks if you wanted to. But if you don't want to use Bluetooth, there's also an auxiliary input as well. You can also use the amp with headphones, as long as they're not Bluetooth headphones, I guess. It would have to be ones with an actual plug on it. And the battery lasts for 6 hours, so like that's pretty decent. So those are the specs, but let's find out what this amp actually sounds like. I should also mention that while Lekato sent me the amplifier, I'm not getting paid to make this video. All the opinions that I share here are mine, and I don't have to get the video reviewed by them first before I upload it to YouTube. So what I'm saying here is my opinion and mine alone. All right, here we go. So, on first glance, unless you turn the gain up, there's not a lot of volume. And if you turn the gain up, you're adding in sort of that like edge of breakup sort of sound. The gain, you also get a little bit more expressiveness from the tone knob as well. And I'm just running a single microphone. So I have the microphone that you're hearing my voice from, and that's picking up, hopefully, this amplifier. But, you know, otherwise it sounds decent. So let's see here. If you wanted to, you could crank up the gain on the clean channel, and then you get like a real crunchy sort of sound. But if I'm going for a clean signal, I want it to be clean. Cool. But what about the overdrive? Now bear in mind, where my desk is in the house, there's a lot of interference that happens here. especially depending on which direction my guitar is positioned, especially this guitar. So don't think less of the amp in terms of its sound quality because I'm not sitting here. Like if I was sitting here, we'd be better. But I'm not. So we got noise. Now that's not with the gain all the way up. Right now it's at about 9 o'clock. If I bring it all the way up, again, same issue. Just more of it with this guitar. So, cool. But let's switch it up. Let's get a different guitar with true humbuckers on it and see if that makes any difference in the sound quality. So, even with humbuckers, like I said, down here I have a lot of interference coming through sound-wise. So, there is still a difference that's going on there. But, you know, if you need to, you get a noise gate and just throw that in front of your guitar before you plug it into the amp. Yeah, that's it. Or you just deal with it. That's an option too. It's not necessarily the loudest sort of desktop amplifier that I've come across, but it's decent. For the purpose of being on your desktop, it does the job. So, I guess the one thing that sticks out to me is like when you are on the overdrive channel, if you have the gain up past noon, it gets to be very crunchy. And this is with the tone basically set to 0. And part of that is just that these are very small speakers. So when you're trying to get more amplitude from smaller size speakers, you run into issues as far as just like the clarity of the sound. This is why big amps, the big speaker cabs, are as big as they are, because they're trying to push more air. They're trying to project more sound to a larger room, a larger audience, hopefully, whatever the case may be. But in this capacity, if you're sitting here and you're just playing, and this is also with the volume all the way up. I just turned it down. And this is with the gain set to 0. This is more like overdrive territory. Which is fine. But as soon as you roll that tone knob up, you start to introduce more of that sort of tinniness. And that also comes through with the volume. So you got to try to find a balance, and I think it's going to vary from one guitar to the next depending on what you have in your collection. Like this guitar, these are aftermarket pickups that were put into it, and so they're a bit higher output, which is going to give more grit overall. But yeah, I mean, you can get by with the overdrive channel and having the gain set down at its lowest setting, or you can bring it up. Yeah, does the job. So as far as my first impression, the takeaway I have from this amplifier, it kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video. If your practice scenario for you individually wouldn't benefit from having a combo amp with, say, a 10 or 12 inch speaker, or a speaker cabinet connected to a separate amplifier, like if you just don't have the room for that stuff, you don't want to carry around all these heavy boxes, your neighbors are going to hate you, you're going to get evicted. If these are all things you have to worry about, then having something like this amp would be a better consideration. And I've always been a fan of technology that isn't super complex to actually interact with. So in this case, the controls are simple enough. Even the sort of extras like the Bluetooth capability, it's straightforward. You don't have to do anything really elaborate in order to actually access that part of the amplifier. So that's a win in my book. And if you wanted to have some different effects on your signal using this amp, you can still plug a pedal in front of it. There's no stopping you there. A key feature I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video though, and it is kind of a key feature, this amp is $30. Which is so much cheaper when you compare it to models like from Blackstar or Positive Grid. They might have a couple other features attached to them, but you know, you're paying a bit more money in those cases. But if you're in a scenario where you need something to check your work for setups, or if you're working on stuff and you want to have a speaker to play music on, you can still use it for this. Or maybe you're just starting on guitar and you don't feel ready to go and get yourself a giant amp, in which case it's probably for the better. You don't need it. Your back will thank you for it. But if those sound like applications that would be suitable for your needs, I'd give this a look. And that's all I got for you guys for today. I apologize for there being a bit of a delay between videos. Even with this one, I've been sick. It's been a fun time recently. But yeah, now we're going into spring, the season where I can't breathe. So I'm excited. I hope you found today's video to be interesting and informative. And if you like what I'm doing here and you haven't already, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button because they're free. Help support the channel. It will be a huge help. Also, maybe buy some merch. And if you like what I'm doing here and you want to show support beyond just liking and subscribing to the video and the channel, I'll leave a link down below in the description to my Patreon page where you can check out what perks are attached to your support over there. A big shout out to my patrons that help make these videos possible. I appreciate you guys. Again, there's a lull right now because I've been under the weather in terms of the frequency of posts on there, but I'm getting back into it and I appreciate you guys being patient with me. I'll make it up to you, I promise. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys for today. I'll be back soon with another video. I got some cool stuff that I want to check out with you guys, and hopefully you'll stick around for it. Okay? Y'all stay safe. Keep playing. Peace.